Hot Shots. When did heavy metal start? I'm going to tell you. You know what? I didn't know either. But this is the awesome thing about doing this podcast. Because we have a really cool guest today on the show. Mr. Justin Robinson, who runs Honeycomb Promotions. I kept calling it Honeybee Promotions. You know, Honeycomb, Honeybee. They go hand in hand. But anyways, I was like, oh, okay, we're talking about heavy metal. We're talking about, okay, I mean, I have been known to get the lead out once in a while, you know what I mean? A little AC/DC, little Metallica, you know what I mean? But I don't know really about like this underground world and like how big a community it is in North Bay. So I did some research. Turns out, yeah, it started in like the 1960s, 1970s in the UK, in the States. There's all kinds of different genres involved. There's some blues in there. There's some jazz in there. Little Eric Clapton, little guitar influence in there. You know what I mean? Anyways, it was an awesome chat. Awesome chat. And they have all kinds of concerts coming up. Fraser Tavern is a huge support for them. You ever been to the Fraser? I think I've been once or twice. At the end of a night. But now, apparently, no, the owner there is, Justin was saying, has been a real huge support and help to having concerts there and stuff, which is great. So let's get into it. Let's get into talking to Justin about how he still has a voice after singing. I don't know if it's singing. It's not yelling, but it's like emoting very loudly with a growl. I don't know. I'd have to have surgery on my vocal cords. Anyway, let's thank our sponsor before we get into it. Our sponsor for the show, well, and for the network, really, Toyota. It's time to Toyota with North Bay Toyota. Thanks, guys.
It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota. From the bold and adventurous RAV4 to the fuel-efficient and stylish Corolla Cross to the powerful and rugged Tacoma, there's a Toyota for everyone. Need extra space? The Highlander, Grand Highlander, and Sienna have room for the whole family. Want to go green? Check out Toyota's complete lineup of hybrid vehicles like the Prius, Camry, Crown, and all-new Crown Signia, and more. Wherever you're headed, Toyota's legendary reliability, advanced safety features, and cutting-edge technology will get you there with confidence. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota, 640 McEwen, or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
Justin, tell us about Kylyk. Is that okay? First of all, that's how you say it.
Kylyk, yes.
Because I saw it written down. And I was like, how do I say this name? What is it? How did it come about? What does it mean something?
No, not really.
Is it a non-acronym?
Essentially, I was like the last of the original lineup for the band. So I was the vocalist. Everyone else was in the band. The two guitar players, the drummer, the bass player. And they added me to a group chat where they were all trying to discuss band names. We finally have the missing piece of the puzzle, so now we need a name. And they were coming up with all kinds of really great names, most of them floral.
Floral.
And I would, feeling the need to be me, I would just make a joke. Let's call the band Kyle. Because I think it'd be really funny. We'd come on stage and we'd be like, all right, everybody, we are Kyle! And then, they laughed. They thought it was really funny. And then the conversation would go back to being serious. And then I would come back again with the same really ridiculous joke. And it would be less funny. And then, I think the next day I made the joke again. And I ended up, they said no right away. And I was like, just kind of came to me. I was like, what about Kylyk? And I spelt it Kylyk. Kind of like a palindrome, but not really, because it doesn't really mean anything. And they really liked it.
Okay.
The idea, I find sometimes band names can be really definitive, and sometimes too much thought into them can be a little overwhelming and can be limiting. So, the Kylyk was just something that popped in our head. It had a nice ring to it, 5 letters, 5 dudes in the band. So we just went with it, and it hasn't gone back since.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, before we started this, you were doing some vocals and stuff in the mic, and when I did a little bit of research on, because I get the let out every once in a while. Got a whole lot of love that song. I love that by Led Zeppelin. I love that song, and some Metallica and some I would say I know kind of more the mainstream, but is that even heavy metal? or is that considered something, those bands?
Well, I've definitely...
Because...
go ahead,
No,
sorry.
I was going to say, because like the videos that I was watching, like about, the festivals and things that were happening, at the Fraser Tavern and stuff like that, that was hardcore. It was hardcore
Right.
metal. So I don't know kind of where, Metallica and all those guys land in there.
Well, I would definitely still consider them heavy metal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's so many categories and genres and subgenres of metal nowadays, because it's been, although it's not very widely talked about in the public, believe it or not, it is like deeply rooted within most cultures. It's just so, and it's vast, and it keeps going and going and going. And so there's tons and tons of different versions of metal. But I would definitely, you still consider Metallica and like,
Like AC/DC, like all those guys.
AC/DC is
no,
like
not so
classic
much.
rock.
Okay.
More like classic
okay.
rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Sabbath, you would consider, Black Sabbath, you'd consider like heavy metal. For the time it was heavy, you know what I mean? And it was considered metal. But then you compare them to bands like, Cannibal Corpse, which is like death metal.
Okay.
Or you got bands like Dimmu Borgir, which is black metal.
What?
Or you got bands like Psyopus and Dillinger Escape Plan, where they're math metal. And then bands like Unearth and Darkest Hour, who are the new wave of American metal. Or bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, who are more new metal, which came out, in the millennium and up. Probably.
Yeah.
So it's and you got like bands like Slayer, thrash metal, you got bands like Morbid Angel, who were more of like grind metal.
And so like what makes, like when you're talking about those different names and stuff, like is it a bass line that makes it different? Is it the type of drumming? Is it the type of vocals that are in it? You know what I mean? Like what kind of differentiates the different, like you're saying it's new age, or now it's like black, like metal, or like at you being in that genre, like how would you kind of, like if you went to see a band, you would categorize them as this because of...
I just ask them. I go, what do you consider yourself as? What does your art mean to you? What is it? What do you classify it as? Obviously, there's, you have your very, very thick genres and stuff. But I mean, generally they find themselves, I guess, and I think it's more made up. Like it's more of a societal thing where someone over time or at some point in time classifies that, and then some people fit it and some people don't. It's I could never really fully understand how labels make themselves, but someone did it somewhere. So
I just think it's so cool. Like when I kind of was looking at stuff the past few days. I love music and always been involved in music. And I played a little bit of piano growing up, but I do vocals. That's basically what I do. But I love how like every kind of genre of music like really comes from a different genre of music, right? Like, I mean, even looking at this, like heavy metal, it was saying the origins really started in like 1960s, 1970s. They were naming some bands like The Cream, The Yardbirds, Jeff Beck Group, like stuff like that. But then they were talking too about how like it kind of originated like in the UK and the States, but how there's even elements of like the blues in it and stuff. And they mentioned like Eric Clapton. And so when I think Eric Clapton, I'm not going to think Black Sabbath. Like, you know what I mean? But when you think about it, I guess there was something, in the way that Eric Clapton maybe was playing guitar. Like you were talking about that different style where, what is it, hit? Or something?
Yeah, tapping.
Tapping on a guitar. So it's just neat, right? How like different forms of music will, like a lot of the blues, they were talking about some of the riffs and blues are coming into it a little bit too, and just how like each one will lend itself to the other and stuff. Like, I don't know, in Kylyk, like what would you guys categorize that group as, or like what you guys put out?
I think what we've categorized ourselves so far is more of like a melodic hardcore metal, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay. How do you like? Is there vocal technique for singing in a band like that?
Absolutely.
Because how do you not have like vocal nodes? Like it just scares me listening to some of this stuff, because I know that even like screaming, there's a way to scream properly so that you don't give yourself vocal nodes, like this, and just like it's all vocal hygiene and stuff, and just making sure that you're protecting your voice. And when I hear some of these bands, and I was listening to some YouTube clips, and I'm going, oh my God, like it just sounds like it hurts. So, explain, how is this happening?
Well, I personally, I don't really have much of like a clinical or scientific breakthrough on it.
Like, I'll just do it.
Yeah,
I'll just go for it.
I literally started screaming when I was like 14 or 15, listening to Mudvayne and System of a Down while working in a kitchen, prepping garlic bread, screaming back and forth. And I remember I was singing Dig by Mudvayne, and I had the bartender come back, and he goes, "Is that you?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's pretty good." And so I never stopped. I was always a guitar player growing up, but still, being able to do that was really fun. So the more that you do it, the more that I was able to do it, and the more that I practiced, the more that I found ways that worked and what didn't work. And I would learn breathing techniques over time, and I would learn. I'm a big mimicker, so hearing voices and hearing music that I like, I would find the styles that I would like, and I would do my best to try to imitate those and practice.
Yeah, yeah. And then I noticed too, obviously songs have lyrics, but I couldn't really I couldn't hear a lot of the lyrics. Like there was, I think it was it Kylyk? And there was, what was I listening to? There was 5 little songs, and one of them was called Old Hag.
Yeah.
Is that, okay. And I turned it up, I was like, I think I heard Old Hag in there, but is that a style? Is that part of it, that it's kind of, there's melody there and there's a melody line and stuff, but that it's not, it's not an Eric Clapton song, right? Where he's singing, you hear every single one of the words.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more of a feeling with the song, or you know what I mean? Is it more, I don't know.
For me,
maybe I'm totally off.
No, I like that. Because
I don't know.
When you're like drums, there is a tone. You know what I mean? You may not hear it as clearly as you hear a bass or a guitar, but with the singing, there is a note that I am singing to. It's just quote unquote distorted. But for me, when I write my vocals, I do it rhythmically. So I try to find a place that kind of fits within the beats of the music as well as within the the drum beats. So it's more like da 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 da.
Okay.
And then if I usually pre-write a lot of my lyrics, and then I'll mold them to make them fit. I'll change a lot of the words, but the outcome is this wonderfully timed and tempoed song that has a lot of power and energy, and I want to make it very clear I do not swear in any of my songs.
Okay, I know, right? Because I think that's what people, they might picture this kind of, this band that's all, like a Marilyn Manson kind of scary, whatever, right? I think that's so cool too, because really when you listen to it, it's not, I mean, do songs that you write, do you have a verse and then a refrain and then a verse, or is it all kind of a syncopated kind of this dance between the music and the lyrics that just kind of goes from beginning to end?
The songs change. There are some more classically structured versions.
Yeah.
Where have that, the intro, chorus, breakdown, verse kind of thing. However, we do have very progressive songs where it's just changes predominantly throughout the song. So it just depends. It's art, right? We try not to limit ourselves too much. We just want to make sure that what we're doing feels good, sounds good to what we all can agree on. And when we put it out, it's just a very euphoric experience to have it all go together,
Yeah. And do you write? You always write your own music with Kylyk? Or
absolutely. Yeah. In my opinion, I find we only got so much time on this planet and so much time with our bandmates. So I would rather spend the time writing the music that people will cover than covering the music that people write.
I like that. That's cool. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's nothing and this is totally other end of the spectrum, I guess, but I sing with the 22-wing band up at the bass, and so it's a lot more classical, but they do some stage band stuff, and man, I don't know if you feel this way too, but when you get on stage and you're singing with that, all of that music behind you, it's an outer body experience, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it just brings you to that, and that's what I love so much about art and creating and performing, and then and then having the audience in front of you. Mm-hmm. To kind of, and you just have this symbiotic relationship, of just this energy kind of going back and forth and just, I mean, is it, you must love it when you're doing a gig and you're seeing how people are reacting to a song, especially I guess if it's a new material, right? Some new songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very, it's so expressive and accepting at the same time. I mean, not only are you doing the mental side of expression, the quiet art part of it, but then when you do it live, you get that physical release as well. Yeah. And then to have the instant feedback that makes people want to jump, makes people want to smile with their fist in the air, and then that they're feeling good. it's just such a, like, almost like a religious experience. It's just so powerful and it's so positive.
Yeah.
So it's so I love it. It's very validating.
Yeah.
But it's like my favorite way of doing art because of it. So
Yeah, I love that you said it's a type of religion. I mean, I think it is. I think it's transcendent. It's some kind of a church, you know. Some people that's their church, and that's how they meditate, and that's how they pray, and that's how they like experience that in life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to Justin. Let's get to Justin Robinson and like tell us about, you know, growing up and how you kind of got into music, and then these awesome festivals that are happening now, or these, you know, these shows, production.
Okay.
Promotions.
For sure.
Company,
Like really quickly, music's always been in my family. My grandfather was used to play in a bluegrass band. He could play anything with strings. He could play.
No way.
Yeah, he was in a band with my uncle Jimmy, and they were in a bluegrass band with Omer from Omer's Pawn Shop back in the day. Very cool, from the Calendar Crew. I picked up a guitar. Actually, my first time I even went and touched a guitar, I was just under 1 year old. My dad still has the picture of me crawling out of a room and tapping on this guitar. But fast forward to, like, you know, pubescent era, you know, I want to play guitar. So in 9th grade, my parents got me a guitar. They thought I was going to put it down in a week.
Sure.
And I never
right.
stopped. Formed a band later on. By the end of high school, we had a band that we were recording with. That would have been with Dean Kennedy and Mike Gallant, who Dean Kennedy now owns Canine Proficiency Center.
Okay.
And Mike Gallant is a music artist, performer in Petrolia area. Oh. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. And then shortly after that, formed another band, and then formed another band, which ended up becoming a band called the Killing Field. So it was me, Dean Kennedy, original bassist Nick Iannero, and then new bassist Jonesy Knoxville, or Jonathan Laframboise for those who know him.
Jonesy Knoxville, there's a name. I like it. Okay.
Yeah, because his real name is Jonathan Laframboise, so he changed it to something cooler. No, Jonesy's a sweetheart, and I love him to death. And we ended up around 2010 and 11 doing shows in North Bay that Dean would set up. He was really good at setting up these shows. We did 2 tours, one across Canada in 2011, to Vancouver and back.
That's
and then
awesome.
in 2010, we did just like a localized Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto tour. But these 2 awesome shows, or tours, I should say, brought a lot of bands back into North Bay, where Dean Kennedy would set up all of these amazing events with big bands. He continued to do so up until about 2018. He brought in the biggest metal band in our genre in the world, known as the Black Dahlia Murder, which is crazy.
That's a great name. Holy shoot. Okay.
They are legendary. So he was able to bring those guys in. He also brought in like bands like The Faceless, The Agonist, like tons of huge bands. He ended up giving it up and then continuing on as a very successful career as a dog trainer and dog houser, border. Incredibly talented man. I couldn't believe that he does that as such a great drummer. So good for him. I ended up joining Kylyk. These bands would call me because they still wanted to do shows. So I was like, well, I'll take the wheel. So I started putting shows on, and that's where that kind of started right there. And then I guess in December of last year, I was pretty much done doing shows. I was tired. I had some personal health issues going on, and I decided to just take a break. But I got 4 or 5 really good offers for 2025. And I couldn't pass them up. I felt like this was something I really should not miss, an opportunity. So Mac Paulette, who's always been our poster guy for Kylyk and helps me with all of the videos that we do, if you've ever seen them online, I sat down with him and asked him if he would want to join me in expanding and rebranding what I was calling J-Rob Presents Promotions back in the day for those shows. And he said yes. I had another conversation very shortly after with Sam Harvey, who did Jordan's Bash. That's where I met him. Incredible man.
Awesome.
The guy, he just sweats gold. He's so incredible.
Yeah. We had him on the podcast. It was great. It was great. That was the first time I met him there. And well, actually, I guess at our launch for the podcast. And then he came in and we talked about Jordan's Bash. And he's really interested in music.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
You know,
He's a doer. He's a make things happen kind of guy. I'm very impressed with his work ethic and I love who he is. He's a really funny, cool dude to hang out with. Asked him if he wanted to join. He said yes. So we came up with Honeycomb Promotions, and just like that, we had a half a year to almost 3/4 of a year booked for events.
Sports aren't just what we do. They're who we are. Source for Sports North Bay is your advocate, your local support system, and your biggest fan. 1321 Fisher Street has grown from a place where knowledgeable experts can help you find exactly the gear you need, to the hotbed of team uniforms, apparel and fanwear, to a community stronghold for all the things that truly matter to you and your family's sports journey. We love helping you find your first pair of skates, as much as we relish supporting local leagues, teams, and athletes. Wherever your sports journey takes you, make sure you visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street so we can help you along your way.
And when you're talking about like booked events, is this like every weekend? Like how many? No.
We're trying to do it, the way that it worked out is these bands wanted something pretty much once a month.
Okay.
So we had the February, January was a break, so we had February, we did March, we're doing April, we're taking a break in May. We are probably going to do something in June, and we have something ready to go in July, and we're already looking into some acts for the fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's incredible. Like when we're talking about the Black Dahlia murders.
You got it.
Okay. The biggest band in that genre coming to North Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you think about it, it's pretty insane. It's like having Taylor Swift come over and like do a freaking show at Memorial Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you think about it that way, I mean, if this is the biggest freaking band in the world, like in North America or like in the world,
I would say in their genre, I would say like for the world for sure. Like
that's insane.
They are the Black Dahlia murder. When you hear the Black Dahlia murder,
like everybody who knows this kind of music goes, oh my God!
Like we had people come from all over to come to this concert.
Where was it?
It was done at the old Evolution nightclub. It had to be reopened. I had to get permit after permit, a bunch of red tape. But it was pulled off. It was a DIY project that totally worked. It was amazing. It was a miracle. Dean was phenomenal at what he did.
Like the universe was like, okay, we're doing this. Like, let's go. Like just open doors for you guys. He
busted his butt and he made it happen. So
that's awesome.
He really set the bar.
Is that the old Evolution? Is that the one that was like an old downtown, like an old theater?
That's
was that?
correct.
Yeah.
It was like a bar. It was like the country western bar for a while. It was Hugo Crazy's for a long time.
Did it burn down? Was that the one that burned down?
What didn't burn down?
I know.
Downtown. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, I thought it was something around there, but no, I do remember it when it was Evolution. and it was just one night? Like just one?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy. It must have been packed. It must have been sold out. Was it like sold out in like an hour?
Practically sold out, yeah.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
So when you're so you're still getting bands from outside of North Bay, but also bands in are there a lot of heavy metal bands in North Bay?
There's a good handful of them.
Yeah.
Plus punk rock, lots of good punk rock in North Bay as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The idea for Honeycomb is to create like this atmosphere where we can have big bands come in and then local bands get to play with them. They can connect, they can network, they can then take hopefully set shows up for themselves and take them with them on shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want to give we want to show these out of town bands that North Bay is a very active music scene. We love music, and we definitely go out. We definitely pay our money for it, and we worship these bands.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice bridging opportunity.
And I mean, I would imagine, when you say you're getting these bands in to play since COVID. Or during COVID, I guess, really kiboshed a lot of stuff. And then I don't know if you find this, but I was coming to North Bay in the summer, starting in 2001 to 2005, and I was doing a theater company here called Nipsing Stage Company. And so when I was here from May till September, we went out every freaking night after the show. There was, take your pick. There was, there was 100 Georges. There was friggin' Finn McCool's. There was, we were going everywhere. And slowly but surely, these kind of places started to, either not have as much live music or just cut it back to a person and a guitar or just kind of, you know what I mean? Or have some CDs on a Thursday night. And then COVID hit. And then a lot of places just really didn't open up again or really I heard even Cecil's has taken out their stage and put in tables, right? So, so it's where is the go-to now for when you do these these promotions or these events? Like, is there a place in town that's really, I mean, I guess Lou Dogs is one place that always does music, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. COVID really thinned out the herd when it came to venues and for people to like motivate themselves to go out as well, right?
Right.
So
huge. Yeah.
Cecil's definitely still has an acoustic area. It's a little more to the middle of the room and it is single act kind of things. They are, I believe, I'm getting a major restaurant vibe from them, less an entertainment vibe from them. So that could just be me or it could be a personal choice on their end. Lou Dogs is definitely the more popular go-to spot for a pub band situation.
Yeah.
The Block has just recently started doing a lot more events in regards to music as well as like restaurant stuff. The bands are getting a little bit bigger compared to what they were before. The Coveralls has played there more recently. They're an awesome cover band, phenomenal cover band. I love them so much. But most of those like concert shows are happening at the Fraser or the Capitol Center, but that's a whole different level of concert. Those are mostly like tribute bands that have been coming in. So.
Right. Yeah,
So not much local stuff happens there.
I know. Which is odd.
It is. Indeed, yes.
This has been a discussion we've had for many, many years. Me and my theater friends. And, now that Whitfield is gone, I mean, Whitfield was one of the best stages in town. And, I've done stuff with the Gateway Theater Guild, and we do the shows at Odyssey High School, which is great, and it's a good stage. But, yeah, there's always in the, theater community, for sure, music community here, we've always kind of gone like, too bad we can't just have all of this stuff in this one amazing theater that we have, because it's such an amazing event space. Or even to kind of reconfigure it a little bit. So maybe there's something going on in the basement. Maybe there's, that'd be a kind of a perfect place, I think, for one of these kind of like death metal, like, because it's just like, it's got that vibe down there, right? But anyways, yeah, it would just be cool to see that, to have kind of more of a community involvement there. But I guess there's all kinds of red tape and stuff. Union, obviously union
security,
workers,
bathrooms, if there's alcohol, all ages, and then even just the general, a lot, like there are a lot of halls you can rent too, right? Like the Elks Lodge, Granite Club, and all these kinds of things, but they're usually booked up from the beginning of the year and on, and they require a hefty deposit that has to be paid like in advance.
Okay.
So that's what makes the DIY thing really hard.
Yeah.
So the good thing about Honeycomb is we look into getting funding and we look into getting sponsors from local businesses. So we're also supporting the businesses around. It's all about kind of bringing it all together, merging local music with local business, and trying to show these venues that we are a safe people. And we do want to support the businesses by providing, by utilizing their services and paying accordingly. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of when you said the Block, it was interesting because I have been in there. I wonder what the acoustics are like there, because I feel like it's quite. The ceilings are so high and there's a lot of metal in there and wood, which is beautiful. But then for music, it's kind of like, oh shoot, how do you? Yeah,
I recall
a little tricky.
I recall a drum cage, like a drum sheet, had to be used during one of their
their
events recently. So but
hey.
Find a way. Find a way.
Exactly. If they want to support it, right? And then I'm thinking too, I'm thinking of Lou Dogs because I've been there, definitely a couple times to go dance and stuff. And I mean, I'm from the generation of Peter Kylyk, Jim Harney, Danny Columbi, like all those guys, right? So just going out every night and friggin' dancing our faces off until we're like just dripping, just go home and gotta get in the shower. But man, those were like the best nights. And I'm thinking they were playing, Jesse Thomas actually was playing, one night at Lou Dogs. We went over there and my girlfriends and I were dancing and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I wish it was like a bigger dance floor though. But then I had to think about, I'm like, wait a minute, freaking 100 Georges, when it was 100 Georges, that wasn't a big dance floor, but we were out there every weekend just dancing away. Oh, there's just something so amazing about live performance and live music and musicians. And because it's like community meets community. You know what I mean? You got this this group of people on stage doing this thing together and giving that energy out to people who are just loving it.
It's intimate. It's interactive. You're really feeling that positive vibe. I mean, you do get dopamine from music.
100%.
So, I mean, to see it live and to hear it live, it just gives you, whether you're drinking or just having a pop or even just having a quick bite to eat or even just enjoying the time. At the end of the day, you're getting good vibes.
Yeah.
So we need more of that.
Yeah, just feeling I love feeling that bass right here, in your chest, right? Like you can just feel it. Man. Yeah. So you got shows coming up.
I do.
How do people find Honeybee Promotions, or like, how is it like? Do they go to honeybeepromotions.ca?
Well, you can go to
or
Honeycomb Promotions.
I mean, what did I say? Honeybee, not honeybee. Honeycomb.
We are the bees within the honeycomb.
That's right, Honeycomb Promotions.
Indeed, yes. You can find us on Facebook, or you can find us on Instagram.
Okay.
We post all of our shows there, and we also do contests for free tickets as well.
Oh.
So it's a like and share, comment kind of situation. So
Cool. Okay.
yeah, it's the best way to do it for now. And
then you post all of your, like, when everybody's come in and like the concerts and all that kind
all
of
of
stuff.
our
Okay,
events
cool.
and all of our posters and all of any information that we have is all on those social media platforms.
Nice. And you're going to be at some of these events? 'Cause
I will be at all of them, for I'm the person who oversees these events. Yes.
But are you going to be singing in these? Are you going to be on stage?
If Kylyk is playing the show, then
Okay.
Kylyk will be. I'll be be wearing 2 hats that night.
Nice. Is there anybody kind of like, how do I say this? I don't want to say it this way, like not worth mentioning, but you know what I mean? Like, is there anybody kind of like a big maybe name that people might be like, oh God, like I can't miss this? Or is there something like a little treat coming in that somebody's, I don't know.
We have a very big show coming up on April 18th. The band, I don't think I can say it online, but it's because it's
mystery.
Because it's a cuss word.
Oh shoot! Okay, so it's like an
it's-
F asterisk
it's
asterisk.
F, the band is called F the Facts. They are a Montreal, Ottawa-based grindcore band. They are the OGs of that style of music for Canada. They have played all across the world. I think Asia is maybe the only place they haven't really played, and then like places like Egypt and probably, I don't know, Uganda, or you know what I mean? They played like Europe, and they've definitely played all over the States, and they've definitely played all over Canada. They're phenomenal, female-fronted grindcore band. Absolutely incredible band to watch live. It's also going to be bringing in a band called Death Club. Death Club is a 3-piece, female-fronted, female-drummered, like heavy metal band. Very talented. They're coming out of the woodworks, and they're really making a name for themselves across Ontario right now. We're also going to be having Kylyk will be playing as well.
Okay.
So you get to check us out. We will have another core grind band coming from the Barrie Aurelia area known as Burdizzo. Very awesome band, very full of energy, fun, good music. And we also bringing in our good buddies Dangar, which is a grind based hardcore band from North Bay, Ontario.
I like that name. That's a cool name.
Dangar. Yeah, so it's an awesome show. It's 5 bands for $20.
What?
So it's a steal of a deal. You get to
yeah.
see a legend, like a legendary band, plus bands that are coming up to be legends. I would not miss this if I were anybody who wanted to get out to and have a good time.
Is this going to be like a 6-hour event? Like, how many sets do these guys play? Like, are you getting like a...
We're looking at about a half-hour to 40-minute set each, except for the headliners, F the Facts. They will be playing for a solid hour.
Okay.
The doors are going to open around 7:30. The music's going to start probably around 8 to 8:30, and it goes on to about just after midnight. Wow. Tickets are purchased at the door, lots of room. Come on out and have a good time.
Awesome. Hey, do you guys think you'd be doing the block party?
We won't be doing the block party, but I can give you a little hint on something we are doing. There is a summer concert series for North Bay happening this year.
Okay.
So word on the street is we might be doing a Tuesday metal night.
Oh.
So.
All right. Watch out for that. I guess go to Facebook or Instagram and get
go
the
to Honeycomb
deets.
Promotions for the details, or you could visit the City of North Bay when the details have been out. It's because it's all ran through North Bay.
That's awesome.
City of North Bay.
Yes.
Which is great. We finally
Yes.
get some the eyes from the city hall on us, so it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And that's the thing too. Like, people forget that. I don't know. It's like, you know, you're talking about the garage bands and stuff, right? And you know, it's just these kids fooling around in like, I mean, listening to the music, like even just listening to Led Zeppelin or listening to like the artistry and the technique that you need to play this. Like, this isn't just noise. This isn't just people playing around on a drum or like hitting it. Like, it's just as crazy as Beethoven. It's just as crazy as Bach. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's, and I think maybe people sometimes forget that, you know what I mean? That just because it's a different genre of music doesn't mean it's any less technical or any less talented to play it, you know, to play these riffs on a guitar. You know, I couldn't even, and I love that there's women. Like, I love that this is, because I would think that heavy metal, I think men. You know what I mean? But I would think now there's probably a lot of female-led bands that are really coming up and go, you know,
yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Come and check them out and see what everyone can do talent-wise. I mean, it's so fun, and it's such a cool thing. Who knows where these bands can be in the future? So to see them now when they're still fresh, you know, it might cut like $20 a ticket today, maybe $100 next year.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you get to meet them and like be like be interactive with them. It's a pretty cool experience.
And awesome to like experience something in North Bay that's really international, but also like something that maybe it's not your thing, you know, but go anyway. Like go and check it out because maybe it is. Like maybe you go and you're like, wow, I actually really like this band, or this one was, you know, that I didn't expect that from these guys, or you know what I mean? Like that's kind of cool too because I don't know, I love all types of different music, you know, because I think they all have their unique styles and sounds and stuff, but they can invoke feelings and emotions in you in such a different way, you know? Yeah. Anyways, that's all. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Go to Facebook. Go to Instagram. Check them out. Honeycomb, not the bee. Honeycomb Promotions. Justin Robinson, thank you. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you kindly.
That was an awesome chat with Justin. And what I loved about that chat was, you know, even though what I do as a singer is like music theater and jazz and kind of you know, big band stuff from the 40s, you could say it's at the total other end of the spectrum of music than heavy metal. You know, kind of the genre that Justin's doing and talking about. But it's really not. And that's what I love about music, right? Because, you know, one type of music bleeds into the other type of music. And, you know, musicians, when they hear different types of music, you know, that's how they're influenced. And then they create this genre and that genre. And even in this heavy metal, you know, he's talking about grind. Is that what it is, Ben? The grind heavy metal. And then there's like black heavy metal and like, anyways, all these different genres and styles, right? And I just loved that even though they're so different, music just unites people and just creates this community where you come together, especially if it's live. You gotta see live music. You know, you get that, you can feel that bass like right here, right in your sternum, right near your heart. And it just creates endorphins for sure. It's that oxytocin shot, you know, through your veins, and it just ignites you. It just, yeah, it's just life. It's just life. To life, l'chaim. Listen, go check out their Facebook page. Go check out their Instagram page. And, I mean, I might check out one of these concerts. I'm going to say heavy metal like that isn't my thing. However, after talking with Justin, you know, the more you know, right? The more you chat with somebody. I'm really intrigued now. I'm really interested. So that could be something really cool to check out. If you're interested, head over to Honeycomb Promotions on Facebook or Instagram and check it out. Hey, while you're at it, head over to our website, northbayecho.ca. You can check out the other podcasts that are there to listen to. You can sign up for our newsletter, Echo Essentials, and, you know, just have a grand old time. Anyway, spring is here, or it's coming. God, it's like almost the second week of April, and it was a storm, massive storm a couple days ago. But anyways, it is North Bay. So, I'm glad that we are having a spring this year. It's not going to go to 30 degrees on May 1st. I digress. All right, I'm leaving. Until next time, much love, North Bay.